self-defense with your walking cane for self-defense. Hello, Doug, good to see you. I'm gonna start with a simple warm-up spin. I like to do both hands evenly and go for about 30 seconds. The purpose of this spin is to build callus on your hands, start to get your heart rate up a little bit. You can do this standing or seated. I like to practice both. I like to defend myself, be able to defend myself with my walking cane. So I practice all the things I'm going to show you in this video from a chair at least once a month so that I'm familiar. If I'm going to, from this position, start to go across the body and bring it back, adding this figure 8 spin. I like to think of it as just a slap across the face followed by a backhand for self-defense. Your hand is closed but not gripping tightly. You have to allow it to spin through your hand. Now, the purpose of these spins is to develop that proprioception and timing the distance, spatial awareness. If you're too tight or too wide, you're going to feel it, and so you're going to learn how to fight from behind your walking cane. From this position, you can easily thrust. You can turn that spin into a strike across the top of the head. You can bring it into the side of the head, down into the legs. You can bring it up under the legs, between the legs, and then follow it with one to the head. So there's going to be value in practicing these spins. Keep your other hand up and out of the way, just so you don't whack it. Make sure your elbow's in. It hurts when you hit your funny bone with one of these simple self-defense walking canes. This is the Cane Masters cane. I put a link below if you want to see. There are different styles. This is the most inexpensive. This is the one I train with every day. This is one of the ones I carry all the time. This is my fancier version with a lot more nice features for self-defense. That's going to compress the flesh and break the bone very quickly. You get these made in hickory or oak. Mine are oak. One I have in the car is hickory. I prefer hickory. I think you'd like it better too. After you do 30 seconds here, put it in the other hand. Always spin evenly on both sides. G. Carlton, good to see you. G. Carlton's going to be in Orlando. Love to see you. Ian, good to see you. From here, bring it across the body and back. Stomach up and in. Again, standing or sitting, one foot in front of the other, or feet in a neutral position. You can see I'm wearing my short pants. Reflection in the mirror. I like to have this angle so that you can often see the whole body and what it looks like, what you're supposed to be doing. As you go through this, make sure your chin stays lightly tucked. Breathe through the nose, pull your stomach up and in, keep your abs tight. And then from this position, I'm going to have you put it on the floor, stand behind it. If you're able to stand, if you can't stand and you do these from a chair, then just skip this part. But practice with your weight on your hands, so you're unweighting your legs, just going up and down. If you have mobility issues, if your legs aren't as strong as they used to be, this is going to start to help give you more power in your legs. All the strikes come off the floor, whether it's striking with a walking cane or any other self-defense tool, or a punch or a palm strike, or you're sticking your thumb in his eyes. Everything comes off of the floor through your body. So when you have strong, powerful legs, you're going to be better able to defend yourself. If your legs are getting older like mine, when you lean into this a little bit, you can see I push it away from me. I'm just going down and up, and my heart rate is going up. You hear my breathing starting to get heavier, and I'm getting healthier. I'm getting leaner. You're going to get younger, stronger, faster when you add those exercises in. After you do a set of those, you can go back to the spins, or you can move right into the strikes. I'm going to start with my hand in the traditional way with the crook facing backward and just slide it down the front so that when I bring it up, with my elbow bent, I have it here in this position. The long side is coming out of your thumb. From this position, your other hand is up. You put that foot forward. This is your right hand. Put your right foot forward. Make yourself a smaller target. And you can see that from now on, you're going to fight from behind your stick. Fight from behind your cane. Simple self-defense tool. Simple self-defense using the walking cane requires that you understand you want to put this between you and him, especially if he has something like this. He's got a weapon. You're still going to have a reach advantage. You're going to be able to hit him before he can hit you, as long as you keep it between yourself and the bad guy. So from this position, the first thing I'll show you is a simple thrust. And with that, you're just straightening the elbow as you turn your shoulders and hips. Now, if I just straighten my elbow, it goes this far. When I turn, you're going to get an extra 6 to 8 inches just from turning your shoulder. It's also going to increase the speed and the power of your strike. So from here, you're turning and just practicing this simple thrust. Now, a simple thrust against like a raging bull is not going to do much. You're just going to go back with it. But a simple thrust using your self-defense walking cane against his nose or his teeth, not the bull, the bad guy, the nasty thug, smashing his teeth and his nose and into his throat. I don't care how big and powerful that bad guy is, his throat is going to crush under a certain amount of pressure. When you put pressure there, you can hear it starts to change your voice. You go too deep, he's done. So we're using that basic principle of self-defense, using violence against violence as described in Tim Larkin's book, When Violence is the Answer. There's also a link below. That's my Bible for self-defense. I think it's the best self-defense book that's ever been written up to this point. I keep telling Tim Miller from Lionheart Skills, I put his link below too. He does a lot of updates on security. He's working on a book. I said I can't wait to get his book, and then my library will be almost complete. So I'm thrusting, turning the shoulders and the hips. And then when you take a small step, again, increasing distance, increasing power, and increasing the speed of that strike, sticking that through his face or through his throat or into his solar plexus or into his groin as you're moving forward is your first simple self-defense technique using your walking cane for self-defense. From this position, the second thing I'm going to have you do is pull it into your shoulder. Remember I said you're going to fight from behind your stick. Keep this from there. Oh, Doug said he got his palm stick. Doug, I hope you like it. Those palm sticks took me forever to get out. I expected I would sell one or two, and I'm already at, I think, 60 so far. So I keep making them and sending them out. But it's been a lot of fun, getting better and better as I do it. So from here, as you go through this strike, think about your target. What are you going to remove or destroy? That comes from that book, When Violence is the Answer by Tim Miller, and the link is in there. Think about his temple, think about his jaw, think about that complex of nerves in his neck. You hit that, the blood flushes out of his brain, he falls down like a sack of poo onto the ground, let the cops pick him up. And again, you're coming off your shoulder. I want you to really get into this habit, get it on your shoulder, fight from behind the stick, and follow through with your strikes. You might be striking temple, you might be striking his shoulder, down into his elbow, down into his waist, into his knees, but it's all the same basic angle. Now from here, I want you to bring it up and trace the back of your head. Now, if your shoulder can't do that yet, don't do that. But if you can do this, I want you to practice this motion from here to here. What's going to happen is it's going to allow you in a tight, confined space. If you have to fight close quarters combat with your walking cane for self-defense, you'll be able to get here to here quickly. And then I want you to bring it back to your shoulder. This is more of a drill to practice good technique, and you can see how tight this is coming through the center line of your body. In other words, I'm not striking out here and out here. If this is the bad guy, he's coming close, especially if he's got that blade, and my arm is too wide, I'm swinging out here. Not only is it a weak strike and puts too much stress on your shoulder, but as he closes that distance, your arm wraps around him, he won't even feel your stick. If instead you're coming off of your shoulders and he runs into that cane, as he comes through, that's going right into his face every time. So this is just a drill I like you to practice when we train here in person. This is the last video, I think. We might get one more this week, but the last video in this facility. I've given this facility up for Christmas. Actually, the landlord said I can rent it to somebody who can pay me more, and he knows I haven't really been able to take off in this location, so it's not the best location. So we're gonna find somewhere else to train, but this is the last one here. So maybe the next time you see me, it'll have a different background. Good morning, Air Guns Anonymous. It's good to see you again. Haven't seen you in a little while. Welcome back. So we're practicing from here, crook facing back, slide it down, bring it up, thrust into his face, stop him from moving forward, bring it into your shoulder, strike through here, bring it around, and strike through here. And then I want you to grab two, both hands, and then just straight in. Think about this hard piece of oak breaking the teeth down his throat, smashing through his nose, smashing to his eyes for self-defense. Now, from this position, I want you to box the sides of his ears, right? You now have great leverage because you're holding onto both sides. Think about pushing 1, 2, 1, 2. From here, you're gonna bend the knees, that gets your body lower than he is, and then Using all the power, you're gonna move him back by thrusting this, you say I knocked the tip off, thrusting that through his solar plexus. All of his guts come out, his blood's puking up, whatever, but you're gonna move him in, knocking his wind out. He's gonna go fly back. He's gonna have a hard time getting up off the ground for self-defense, which is what you want. You're using violence against violence. Your hand slides down the front, you bring it up, thrust, shoulder around the head, shoulder. Again, you might not do that for real or when you're defending yourself, but you're gonna do this in training so you can practice good technique. 2 hands as you step forward, constantly pressing the fight through his face, boxing the shoulders or his ears, smashing his head or into his ribs, and then bending. And this time I'm bringing that big crook, that's like a big knuckle, big fist, up and into his solar plexus. From here, doesn't matter which foot you have forward, don't even think about it. Whatever foot's forward is the correct foot. Now the next thing that I'm gonna have you do is turn the crook out. I'm gonna lower the camera, so close your eyes if you get nauseous. I often forget to mention that. About that, I lost you there for a second. From here, Richard says most canes that you see have a smaller radius opening, I think you mean on the crook. Here's one great example. So you can see there's a massive, I can almost fit one on top of the other one. So this is what I started with. And I learned how to effectively spin. You can learn how to effectively spin. You can do all of the same spins, not as easily. This is investing, like, this is less than 50 bucks. Getting a Cane Master self-defense cane, that's a first link below, that's where I would start. But if you do have one of these, don't think you can't your hand sideways. You just turn it sideways. And you'll get a feel for it. You'll be able to do all of the same spins and all of the same things that you can do with one of these. So I always say invest your time before you invest your money. So if you just have one of these canes, or these are 9, 10 bucks, you got one of these first, then use it. Practice it. And then once you get this, you'll be really good at it because you've already learned how to do it with the least optimal equipment. Now you get the best optimal equipment or something like that. I think you understand what I mean. All right. Crook facing out. First thing I want you to see, same thing, bending the knees. You can stick that straight in his face. You can bring this up, smashing under the chin, grabbing 2 hands. You can thrust through his face, chop that big, nasty tooth into the top of his head or into his shoulder, and then rip, pull everything for self-defense. And then stick it back right through the throat. I think the camera's a little bit of an angle, so I'm not straight in. There we go. Stick it straight into his face. But just from this position. Bend the knees. This bending of the knees loads up the legs, and then you explode like unweighting the springs of a truck, right? You're coming right into his face, smash that up, thrust that in, chop that down, rip that here, and then finish with this thrusting motion. If you practice that over and over again, Rick says he's been hoping to do some cane work. Awesome. Welcome. This is a good place to start. Seriously, look for a hiking walking stick. Hiking and walking sticks use a lot of the same technique. We just don't have the crook. I'd start with just a basic broomstick, cut the end off and train with that, and then get a nice walking stick. And then you'll have everything you need. Bend the knees, thrust, bend the elbow to his face, chop, step in, and thrust. Practice that technique over and over and over again. Do it on the right hand, do it on the left hand, get ambidextrous there. The last thing, under here, I want you to pop him here, and then I want you to smash him here. So you just practice 1, 2, 1, 2. And again, do 10, 15, do 30 seconds with the right hand, 30 seconds with the left hand. You never know, this arm gets hurt, or you can't do it with this arm, you have to do it. Or, for some of you, or for some of us, you might need one to walk with, right? And someone said to me the other day, I've never seen anybody walk with 2 canes. I have, many times. I've seen a lot of people walk with 2 canes. I've had students who have crutches under each arm, and we've learned how to lift one up and off at the same smash with the other one for a long time. So I don't know where anybody, you just haven't been out enough. You're not old enough. I'll bet the people who make that comment are pretty young. If you're as old as me, you've seen plenty of people with 2 either canes or crutches or whatever they're called, 2 walking devices, walking aids. I've even been thinking about making a video for Zimmer frame, how to defend yourself with a Zimmer frame. Because I've taught it to a student who uses a Zimmer frame, and I've seen other people teach it. Anyway, you lean on one, pop them there, smash down on the top of the head. You'd be surprised, because it's coming through your center line, how much easier it is than you might imagine if you haven't done it. Because it really is, it's a small range of motion, and then down on top. One, your palm turns up, your hand snaps down. Now I wanted to show you my other recommendation for fitness, because I think if you're serious about self-defense, you should also be serious about your self-defense, and your fitness, your physical fitness. Physical fitness is a form of self-defense, but you should be fighting fit. We used to have every Friday in all my schools for years was Fighting Fit Friday. And so we had all these workouts that were just really intense, and we would get extremely exhausted, and then we would practice self-defense. And then we would practice, put all the gear on, and we'd fight, and it made it extra hard. But there's something about testing yourself that way, when you wear yourself out first, and then you fight. All right, so you saw, put the band in front of the body, or behind the body, stick in front of the body, and then I want you to just press, chest press, standing chest press, standing push-up, whatever you want to call it. And the first one, just straight out. You can see it hits your triceps. It's gonna hit the fronts of your shoulders. Keep your stomach up and in, abs tight, tuck your chin. Breathe in through the nose, out through the mouth, 30 seconds, and then rest. In the second set, you're gonna go down and hit the lower part of your chest and more of your shoulder and less of your tricep. And then 30 seconds of that, and then rest. And then the third set up, and less of your shoulder, more of the upper part of your chest, and more of your triceps. And 30 seconds and rest. And then you're gonna really burn your triceps out, because the triceps are involved in a lot of the strikes. The triceps, the back, the biceps, the chest are all involved, and especially strong core. And again, you can do these standing or sitting, and then pushing. And this resistance band, this green one, you can get resistance bands in any width. The thinner it is, the lighter it is. This is kind of heavy. This one because I snapped the other one recently. But you can get a little bit wider, a little bit smaller. Smaller it is. Start smaller. If you haven't done this before, go really light. And then if it's too easy, instead of 60 seconds, or 30 seconds, do 60 or 90 seconds. So from here, just pushing away, getting the triceps, and then throw the band. I put a link to these below if you need to get a set of resistance band in the description. The description has the link to Tim Larkin's book, When Violence is the Answer, has the link to the resistance bands, and it has the link to the self-defense walking canes. So it's a simple tool, a simple self-defense tool, or a simple self-defense using your walking cane for self-defense. I think it's the best thing you can get, because you can take it anywhere and everywhere you go. Someone said to me recently, you can't take that on the plane. We traveled less than a month ago. I saw many canes go through TSA, and they handed it to the guy on the other side. Some of them didn't even get x-rayed. Some of them, the guy handed it to TSA, he looked at it. They gave him their cane to walk through the metal detector with, and then he gave him their cane back on the other side. They didn't even x-ray it. And I saw that twice. So I know you can carry these through, carry them onto the plane, you can sit with them. The HIPAA laws require that no one's allowed to ask you, hey, why do you need that cane? Show me your medical card or whatever. That's never gonna happen. It's your personal privacy, your medical privacy, at least here in the United States. You can also, in a closed space, use this, one of my favorite techniques that I've been practicing a lot lately, bending the knees and then coming up quickly, get them off my angle here, here we go. Just bringing that up and then smashing up under the chin. Imagine if you were really tight and he's already in your face, and you're gonna get your other hand up between you and him quickly as a brace, bend the knees a little bit so you're lower than he is, and then as you come up, bring that up, smashing the teeth. And then from here, your other hand goes on it, and then rip that up between his legs or into his face, push him away from you, chop him, smash. All the things we did earlier, but just practice it in a smaller space. It's one of the best close quarter self-defense tools that you can carry. It's one of the best all-around tools you can carry. Someone can grab you by the wrist, you can bring it over his wrist and bring it down. There are a lot of these techniques that you can do. They might be holding your stick, they might grab your stick, you just twist and push it down. If he grabs your stick, you twist, you bring it through that way, it's gonna be hard for him to hold on to it. Anyway, you guys have been great. It's good to see you again. Like I said, the next time you see me, we probably won't be here, or we'll be here and everything else will be gone because it'll be the last day. I have like 3 days to get everything out of here. I'm not sure where we're going, but when, you know, the saying, when God closes the door, another one opens. I'm a firm believer. So we will be walking through a new door soon because of you, and you've helped me do all this stuff. I really appreciate it. If you haven't subscribed, please do that. Please share this with others. Please help me grow this channel. And if you hit the subscription, some of you say you're not getting notified. I've noticed that a lot of my channels have dropped out of my feed for some reason. I have no idea and why the algorithm does that. And I don't know if it's conspiracy or not, I don't care. But I know if you hit the bell, then when I make a video, it should give you a notification. And if not, then I'll see you when I see you. And I appreciate everybody. And I look forward to the new year.